Hello everyone. I just got news a while ago that my friend Alan O Duffy died. Um, he was a really good sound engineer and producer and a lovely guy. And and we kind of I got to know him in January when I asked him to come on my podcast, and he was like really nice, and he said he'd love to, and um, a week went by. And I said, I messaged Mac. I was like, "Oh, hey, Alan, do you still want to come on the podcast?" And he said he was a bit he was a bit ill, and I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Take your time, whatever." And he said to give him a call. So I called him, and he was like, just the nicest guy ever. He was like, you should talk to my friend Don Powell, and you should talk to this guy, and I could set things up, and um I remember getting off the phone and just saying to my mother, like, that guy's like the nicest guy I've ever talked to. Because in life, the most precious thing you can give somebody is time. And he gave me his time, and he didn't have to give me his time. And we became kind of friends since then. We would talk to each other every few days and call each other and stuff like that. And, he had messaged me last month saying that the treatment was a success, and he said that the success rate for the treatment was like I think 5 to 10%, and I was like, oh my God, he's doing so well, and it was great to hear. And he was working on his audiobook, and he had asked me to kind of do some music stuff, and he did the podcast, and I had messaged him maybe a few weeks ago. And so I had something about Slade. I'd messaged him something because they're re-releasing the Slade movie. I think Slade in Flames. And I was saying to him, "Oh, it's cool. It's been re-released." And he was said it was his one of his family members had died. I think his wife's um, family member. So I was like, "Oh, sorry, man. I didn't want to be bothering him." And then a few weeks went by, and I was thinking, "Geez, I haven't heard from Alan in a while." And I had I was on the Friday, so last Friday, and I was saying I'm gonna message him tomorrow now, and I was watching the football, and I said I'm gonna message him after the football. So it sounds like such a like, oh, I was gonna message him and then I didn't, but I really was like, and which kind of makes it harder in a lot of ways. Um, um, but then I got a message from him, a message came in from him, and I was like, geez, Alan, I was just thinking about you. But it wasn't from him, it was from his wife, Divna, and she was saying that Alan had took a bad turn and he was in hospice. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. And, you kind of think, you kind of think people can kind of get better. You want to believe that they can. And unfortunately, he didn't. And, ever since I was told to use it, I was constantly, thinking about it. I was thinking about him. And, you want to believe that some kind of miracle can happen and stuff like that. But I just want to make this video because he's such a nice guy. And he was a talented guy, and he didn't get enough credit. And we didn't know each other that long, but sometimes you meet someone and they kind of become your friends straight away. And he's just such a nice guy. And yeah, man. So, so just people should go check out his records he worked on and his book. And yeah.